Breaking economic news, the June Consumer Price Index out just minutes ago. It shows inflation broke another 40-year record high last month. Here to dive into those latest numbers, Melissa Armo, founder and owner of the stock Swoosh LLC, and News Nation business contributor Lydia Moynihan. Lydia, let's start with you. So how bad is this latest inflation rate? I mean, clearly it just continues to rise, even with all of the interest rate hikes.
Yeah, and this is even worse than the record hot inflation that we were expecting. I mean, this is up 5.9% more from a year ago, 1.3% higher than just last month. So people are already talking about, the Fed has already raised rates more than we'd expected to see this year. We're already talking about multiple more hikes for the rest of the year and just what they're going to have to do to rein this in. There was optimism that maybe we would have seen the inflation data peak. Clearly, that hasn't happened. And so this isn't going to be solved naturally. It's interesting. The Biden administration obviously was trying to get ahead of this. They're pointing to the fact that this is a backward-looking piece of data and that maybe things have actually improved over the last few weeks, which to an extent they have. We have seen commodity prices, gas prices go down. We've seen prices at the grocery store go down. But this is much worse than anyone expected, and there will have to be some aggressive action from the Federal Reserve to rein this in.
But is there any optimism? Because a report out just within the past few hours says that U.S. stock futures have gone up just a little bit ahead of that report. So are we going to hold on to some positivity here?
Well, I'm looking at futures right now, and they're tanking. I think that this was not the news that they wanted. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean,
it's a roller coaster.
Again, this is backward looking, but right now futures are not looking positive. All of the futures are in the red by several percentage points.
Okay, well, there you go. Maybe Melissa Armo has a little bit more, I don't know, breath
Truth
of fresh
hurts.
air. It does hurt a little bit. Melissa, let's get to you. In terms of today's report, what do you think it means for stocks?
Well, stocks are tanking right now, just like the reporter said. And unfortunately, the market could sell off today, and we could break another very critical level in the market. We've seen nothing but selling since the beginning of the year. This number is an important number for consumers because it measures the prices of consumer goods over each month. So it's really over the last month. Yes, gas and a few other things have come down, but only by pennies. They're still up from where we were 6 months ago or even 12 months ago. And certainly even 2 years ago, before COVID even started, prices were down so much. Maybe the positive thing that you can think about today, if you're looking for something positive, is that the administration will not raise taxes. They were talking about raising taxes in some of their plans. That would be terrible for consumers right now because they're paying more and they're going to continue to pay more. Again, next month's number could be even worse. And on top of all this, again, a bright spot is maybe the administration will unleash American energy. One of the problems is that fuel costs are too high. Diesel is too high. Everything that you buy gets to you in a truck. So again, diesel fuel is very expensive. And again, regular gas for American people. So all the things we buy are higher and higher. And even though people are making more money, yes, that's true. It's not covering the cost of inflation, which is really running at record paces. I mean, this is 41 years. 1981 was the last time we've seen this type of number. It's a long time ago. Some people aren't even alive that have seen these numbers that are working, like 30-year-olds. I mean, they never saw prices like this.
Yeah, and you mentioned gas prices and whether we're actually going to become more energy independent. But short of a miracle, we would have to have Congress actually agree to that in light of this very, very climate-friendly Congress. But are we at risk of a recession? Definitely after seeing this kind of report, and as you're forecasting, expected to see a worse report next month.
Well, I think it's going to depend on how earnings start. We have really big bank earnings in the next couple of days. We have JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo in the next 2 days. Again, if they report that, if their outlooks for these financials for the big banks are bad, and if they're predicting a recession, if that's what comes out in their quarterly reports, then again, that's going to be negative for people when they're going out and buying things. The best thing I can say to people is, listen, if you really are concerned that things are going to be more expensive and 30 days from now or 60 days from now, you could stock up a little bit. I mean, people were doing that back in 2020 because of supply chain issues. You could do that. And at the end of the day, I think people really just need to work hard, make sure they have secure employment, make sure they have some type of savings in the bank. And, it's okay to put something on the credit card every once in a while, even though people don't like to do that. If that helps you out, not be stressed where you're living paycheck to paycheck right now till things improve, then you got to do what you can do, because it's so stressful for people right now to go and pay for things when they see the prices of their grocery bills have gone up sometimes 20, 30%.
Yeah. And when you hit people's grocery bills, you're getting personal. Melissa Armo, thank you for being with us. We want to listen to